Yo, what's going on, guys? So every once in a while, a piece of gear comes along that excites me so much that I briefly step outside of the music niche here on YouTube and add my voice to a topic or a conversation. Today, that piece of gear is this guy, the Mavic Air 2. I think the technology, the specs, the price of consumer drones are finally all in a place where you're gonna see a lot more content creators and hobbyists alike adding aerial to their kit, myself included. So I wanted to just share a few thoughts today from the perspective of definitely a beginner, intermediate at best level drone video guy. Who do I think this drone is right for? Why, after years of flying drones, was this the first drone that I decided to purchase? And of course, I'll be sharing plenty of footage with you guys. I've only had this guy for about a month, but I've already been able to capture some really cool shots. Take a look and let's get into it. He's so cute. Let's begin. So if we're meeting for the first time, hi, how are you? I'm Patrick. Primarily, I'm a musician, music producer, songwriter, but obviously I'm also a content creator and have worked professionally both for myself and for clients as such. Like many millennial creative professionals, I wear many hats, and I've worked on a few different projects that have required me to fly a drone. I am by no means a professional drone pilot or professional drone videographer, but I have worked with them a bit. And I do have to say, the more that I've flown drones, the more I really wanted to add one to my kit. But up until this Mavic Air 2, I really wasn't willing to pay for a drone in order to get the specs that I wanted. For me, my budget, my specs wish list, my skill level, the right drone just wasn't really out there. Now look, I share all of that with you simply to make a case for the Mavic Air 2. I think there's a lot of people out there who are in a similar position to the one that I was in. You want to buy your first drone, you want something that does 4K, but you also don't want to spend a ton of money. And I really do think DJI have made the perfect drone for that beginner to intermediate level. Now listen, I don't want to sit here and just read to you guys off of a spec sheet. There's plenty of great videos out there that will walk you through every little spec, every drone comparison, way better than I could. I will link in the description below some videos, some YouTube channels that I was referencing. So if you're looking for that kind of video, go have at it. I, however, want to spend this time talking about some of the features that I really like, talking about some things that I think were a little overhyped, and hopefully just give you like an unbiased, real-world review from somebody who bought this thing like a month ago. Oh yeah, and I also got the Fly More combo pack, whatever, with the purse and the extra batteries. Yeah, I don't know if you really need this, but we'll talk more about that later, but just so you know, we will address that. First, I want to talk about this controller, because there's a lot of people talking about it. It seems to divide a lot of opinions. A lot of people like the old Mavic controller with the little things that pop down and the antennas that pop up. They like the size of it, and I do realize that this is like the size of a artisanal grilled cheese sandwich, but I like this controller so much better than the old Mavic Pro controller. If nothing else, I am willing to put up with the size just for this, so that I can have my phone in here, attach my phone to the controller without having to take off my phone case. I can't tell you how happy this makes me. Also, having your screen on top of your sticks, it's just way more intuitive than like having your sticks up here and having to look at the phone below you with the old Mavic controller. They've also done away with the antenna. Everything is built right into the controller. They've got this new OcuSync 2.0 transmission technology that's in this controller. It's pretty good. I've flown the Mavic Pro quite a bit, and I definitely feel a lot safer about potentially losing signal with this controller than I do with that one. But there have definitely been several times where I've lost transmission, my signal is weak, and I'm in like a wide open, pretty remote location at the beach. I've got the drone out like 500 meters over the ocean, and I'm like,
am I about to be swimming? right now to go get this drone.
But luckily, no mishaps yet. The signal does, at least in my experience so far, always recover. I also don't fly this thing very far, and I'm having transmission issues. So you are supposed to be able to get like 10 kilometers of max transmission distance with this drone. So hopefully my transmission issues are just due to the areas where I've been flying. But all in all, pretty happy with this controller. I love that these little joysticks just come out and go right into the bottom here. That is just great engineering. Great engineering. Not the most compact and portable controller in the world, but I'll live. Battery life. Let's talk about it. DJI says you'll get 34 minutes of flight time on a full charge without wind. The odds of you being in a situation where you're flying the drone with zero wind, very unlikely. Realistically, you're looking at like 27 to 30 minutes average flight time, which is still plenty, still great. The question is, can you get by with only one battery? I think so. I think you'll be really surprised at how much footage you can actually shoot on one battery, especially if you're planning out your shots, you know exactly what you want to shoot. If you're on a tight budget, you just want to get the basic Mavic Air 2 package with the drone, one battery, and the controller, I think you'll be fine. You don't even really need an SD card because the drone itself has like 8 gigs of internal storage. That won't get you very far, especially if you're shooting 4K, but the basic package is plenty to get started with, and you can upgrade along the way as you see fit. If you want to get another battery, you can do that. I will say the majority of the time that I'm out flying, I've gotten all of the shots that I need on 2 batteries tops. Now, the one accessory that I absolutely recommend getting are the ND filters. These come in the Fly More combo pack, but you can buy them separately as well. If you want to get a lot of those cinematic shots and you want to shoot at 24 frames a second, in the daytime your image is just going to be so blown out, and you don't want to increase that shutter speed to compensate, so you need an ND filter. A lot of people don't like the DJI brand ones. They've worked fine for me, but I'll still include some alternatives in the description below for you guys to check out. Performance-wise, this drone has been excellent. I'm not really a slow-mo guy, so the fact that this only does 4K 60 is totally cool with me. But I mean, come on, for the price, the fact that this does 4K 60 is incredible, and it looks really great. If you are into that super slow-mo, the drone does do full HD 1080p at 120 frames per second and 240 frames per second. The footage is definitely usable, but of course it doesn't look as crisp and detailed as 4K. Again, not a make or break selling point for me. 4K 60 looks great. 1080, 120, and 240 are perfectly usable if you really need that slow motion. But the nice thing is, you've got a couple of options. I'm also super happy with the decenter-like profile. A lot of people complaining that this drone doesn't do log. Hasn't been an issue for me. The decenter-like profile is super flat, and you'll have plenty of flexibility when color grading your footage. I've heard a lot of people saying that this is one of the steadiest drones I've ever seen, and it's just so steady and smooth. A couple of things about that. If you're comparing this to like the first Mavic Pro, absolutely. This is way steadier, but on windier days, especially if you're at a place like the beach where you have a lot of wind coming in off the ocean, this thing can still get tossed around like a beach ball at a Nickelback concert. All right, maybe that's an exaggeration, but you get what I mean. Take this shot, for example. I was messing around with the tracking, trying to do an orbital shot of my wife Olivia at the beach. Average windy day at the beach, not too windy, but normal wind conditions. And you can see the drone is fighting to maintain a steady orbital path around Olivia. I have heard that some people have trouble with the tracking on this drone, so that could be what the issue is here. But there have definitely been times where this drone gets kind of sent around in the wind. But listen, that's to be expected. Look at the size of this thing. It's teeny tiny, it's compact, and that's what we love about it. So there's going to be some trade-off, and you're going to have 1 or 2 issues with the wind. That's just the way it goes. Definitely not a huge deal, but I did want to bring that up. So lastly, the Fly More combo. Do you need it? What do you get? I think it's worth it. That's why I got it. First of all, you get a nice case for your drone. If you're just going out with the drone, it's nice to have this. You get 3 full sets of these propellers, which is great. 2 batteries, ND filters, a bunch of other stuff. Here's what I'll tell you. If you think you're going to buy 1 more battery, get the Fly More combo. The Fly More combo is going to be like $190 extra. An extra battery costs you $115. You might as well spend the extra money and get the Fly More combo. Do you need it? No. Like I said, the base package is plenty, but at the same time, the Fly More combo is a really nice value. But listen, guys, that's going to wrap up this video. All in all, been super happy with this drone. Super happy to add aerial to everything that I do on this channel. It's only a month in. I'm still in the honeymoon phase, but I think this little guy is going to add a really cool and fun and interesting new element to the content that I create. If you're new around here and you want to check out some of my other videos, definitely stop by the channel and consider subscribing. Hope you'll stick around. But listen, guys, until next time, my name's Patrick. I'll catch you real soon, all right? Peace. Oh, yeah, and if you get this drone, it doesn't have sensors on the top, so be mindful. You might fly it directly into a ceiling. All right, bye. Oh, you're such a cute little guy.
You are absolutely not.
Me?
No.
Why?
You can't talk to like the little dog.
The drone? Why? He's so cute. Look at him.